what I mean is we're not just lined up on the border and we have one line of defense and that's all that's all we function on. We have interior checkpoints, we have ranch patrols, we have you name it. Well, that also goes out into the global theater as well. And the theory is, number one, if we maintain good coalitions with other nations and we help their security, that makes it harder for the true enemy, the true adversary, which is the cartels and smugglers. It makes it more difficult for them to operate on any side of the border, which makes it more safe for our country and our people. So right off the bat, you have this need for a specialized skill set to go out and train with and work with the border security entities in these other countries that are of a like mind with us, that believe that there needs to be order and have a secure border. And so that training, it can't just be anybody. It's got to be folks that have to know how to go into the OCONUS, the outside the continental U.S. Theater, and function in other cultures and in other situations that you don't find here. On the other side of it, just like in any law enforcement, you have higher threats. You have high value targets. You have things that require special training that would otherwise it would be too dangerous for conventional forces to engage with. And so that's why we've came up with the Border Patrol Tactical Unit, and it goes all the way back to prison riots in L.A. It goes back to the Elian Gonzalez warrant service back in 2000, whether it be working in Portland, Oregon, helping FPS secure the federal property, whether it be the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics, helping Secret Service secure the venues, to keep everybody safe, whether it be finding escaped fugitives in Pennsylvania, because there is no entity that tracks people better than Border Patrol agents do. There's these specialty skill sets that require continuous training. It requires really a professional athlete standard where those agents have to be operating at peak performance. Hurricane response, Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane Harvey, the Maui fires. I mean, all of these things, there were members of the Special Operations Group, BORTAC and BORSTAR, on the ground helping out in these situations. And they were effective because they possessed those skills that we trained them to have, and they were kept proficient through a rigorous process, both physically, mentally, and from a capability standpoint, and they were equipped to be able to do the jobs we asked them to do. That's why any law enforcement organization is going to have these specialty teams. And quite frankly, I think our investments have paid off in spades for what we've seen BORTAC and BORSTAR do, especially over the last 2 decades.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. Most people wouldn't even, there's still people that don't even know that we have a special operations side of the house and how successful they have been throughout the years. I don't even need to ask you this here. I'll answer. I believe our special operations, bar none, can compare with some of the special operations units in the military currently today, with how prevalent they are, with the training they do, and the mission that they currently have in America. If you're an operator in the military looking somewhere else, don't look any further. I would go straight to either BORTAC or BORSTAR if you're looking to continue to do that skill set at a high level. And SOG, to me, what I would say is a Tier 1 element. Would you agree with that?
I would, and I don't like some of the good-natured competitiveness is fun, but at the end of the day, just being counted among the ranks of some of our best and brightest out there in the military and in the law enforcement realm is an honor in and of itself. And that's one of the good things about being on these teams, is you get to work next to that caliber of individual. Just like being in the Border Patrol, you get to work next to some of the most hard-charging law enforcement officers out there. The same is true for BORTAC and BORSTAR. And it's not about who's better. It's about how good we all are at keeping people safe, keeping this country great.
Does BORTAC have a specific mission that is? I know they do a lot of different things, and I know some of this answer, but I've been on a lot of missions with BORTAC in my career, and a lot of it was to disrupt the cartel organizations as they try to smuggle marijuana through or whatever it was, dope at the time. Is that a constant mission across the nation for BORTAC?
Yeah, so think about it like this. So you have basically conventional force operations. That's your direct action. That's going after the flow that's coming across the border. That's what you see agents out on patrol doing day in and day out. And then you have targeted enforcement operations, and that's where the special operations thrives. That's where you have not just special operations, but your intelligence agents, your investigations personnel, and they're not just going after people and networks. They're going after TTPs that are used to good effect. They're going after specific geographic areas where the bad guys have the advantage. So they're doing these targeted efforts to try and really quell the higher threat aspects of what the adversary can do. It's putting hands on somebody has a warrant for murder. That's one thing, but it's another thing to go into an area that's particularly remote and dangerous, where there's extensive counter surveillance and scouting. There's bandit activity, because that zone is responsible for a large chunk of the fentanyl making it into our country in the last year. Who's to say which one is more important? That is terrain denial. That's denying the adversary the ability to operate in that area. That is right up BORTAC and BORSTAR's alley.
Now, you mentioned BORSTAR. I don't talk much about BORSTAR. I probably should, but I don't want to be boasting about it. But BORSTAR, for those who are listening, they have a mission similar to what the pararescue jumpers have in the military. But it's a wide range of rescues, as well as tactical medicine and whatnot. In the past, just even 5 years, I've seen the BORSTAR teams kind of evolve into even greater mission and just being very successful in what they do in their rescues and their capabilities. What was the need for even bringing BORSTAR into play when you have a team like BORTAC?
Well, depending on who you talk to is when the team actually started, because both San Diego and Tucson sectors will claim credit for it. But the original intent was because of how remote the areas are that our men and women are operating in. The original intent was to have agents out there trained medically in case one of us went down, in case one of us got hurt. And oh, by the way, we'd be there in case somebody else needed us too. Well, maybe the unforeseen benefit was, because we operate in those very remote locations, a lot of times it's our folks that are first responders, and they're on the scene with patients and of all kinds, a lot of times for several minutes, if not an hour, before EMS actually arrives.